Good morning. I think it's day 34. Sorry if this is blurry, everything's wet. The trail is a creek in spots. Surprisingly not everywhere. I will take that. I was expecting the whole thing to be flooded today. That was one heck of a storm. Holy cow. Plenty of rain. Lots of lightning and thunder. Thankfully the winds didn't get to us, so I was happy about that. It's probably 9 o'clock now. Left camp around 8:30. Waited for it to stop. And then I wrung out my clothes. There was a lot of wringing. And then the putting on of the very wet clothes. But now look, the sun is coming out. It's probably gonna get hot and steamy. We have a giant mountain to climb after we get down off of this one. So. And then we have to climb down the other side, which will be terrifying, of course. And then there's an even more terrifying climb down that we have to decide if we're going to do today or tomorrow. So we don't know what we'll find out here in the world. It all depends on how deep the water is. We did well to get ahead of this yesterday. I just don't know if we can do an actual day today or not, because I don't know what we're going to find. This is not bad. I mean, this is just slippery, dangerous hiking, but that's Maine. I was concerned about like ankle deep water, because it just rained and rained and rained. I don't know where that came from, but I'm certainly glad I was in a good spot to ride it out. The darn mice found me in the middle of the flood, in the middle of the storm. I have no idea how. I could see them under me, and I turned on my headlamp. They were crawling around down there. They crawled into my pack. They ain't chewing on shit. Evil. I thought my back was all rolled up, and somehow they wiggled their way inside. They probably heard me telling everybody how terrible they are, because nobody else had any problems with them. So the people in the shelter didn't. Usually it's the shelter where they get you. They left the shelter and came out to find me. I don't know what the hell they were doing out there in that storm. That just doesn't make any sense. They had to swim to me. Alright, I'm ranting about the rodents here. Yeah. Well, there's certainly probably going to be some fantastic waterfalls today, I would imagine. So I will bring you out. Try to remember you. I don't think I got any of that storm last night. It's hard to capture lightning with a camera. Every time it would seem like it was overhead, I'd pull out the camera and then it would boom. There was one at 11:30 that went off, like right overhead. Just huge light, huge crack. Thankfully I was already half awake when it went off, because wow, that woke me up. Alright, I'm gonna do some hiking. I'll shut up now. I told you there'd be waterfalls. There'll be bigger ones later. There's been a lot of small ones. But not as much as I was expecting. Either this mountain drains really well, or it just wasn't as much of a flood as it seemed. Campsites sure seem to flood out pretty well, but I'm okay if the trail is not destroyed. My wife is up in Baxter. I hope the road didn't wash out. She's deep in. She might be trapped. They've got equipment. They'll rebuild the road if they have to. Yeah, I'm pretty wet. I gotta admit. I'm not sure if these clothes are drying at all, but I know they were really wet when I put them on. I'm not sure if it actually flooded under my hammock. I didn't think it did. I might have just been really wet when I arrived. I had been hiking in the rain all day, so that'll sometimes make you wet. I knew there was another waterfall coming, that's why I kept you around. If I put the camera away, I might not take it back out, but since you're still here, this is a pretty one. Well, that's but that's this is one of the first ones to break out in the winter. So sometimes on a spring trip, you'll be here in the snow, but it'll be flowing. Which makes crossing it exciting. There's a snow bridge here. You never know when that'll collapse. There you get the full effect. Now it's time to climb. We're gonna go up into that cloud. Maybe it'll blow away before we get up there. Our mountain is behind these mountains. You can't even see our mountain from here. But it's a terrible, terrible mountain. It's one of my least favorite mountains to climb from either side, except for the Grafton Loop. But the AT from either side is a terrible climb and an even much worse descent. It's like one of those uphill both ways things that no matter which way you do it, it's not good. No, it's really, really steep. The climb from this side has, I don't know how many depressing, sad, false summits. My strategy for climbing this mountain is to always assume it's a false summit. And even when I get to the actual summit, I try to be surprised when I see the sign. You don't actually go to the summit, you'll come to an intersection, but there's a sign there. And that way you know we're done. We're up on the actual top of the ridge. There's a little side trail, the Grafton Loop, that takes you over to the actual summit. But those false summits will just drive you crazy. Bemis was like that. Second Bemis, first, no, main Bemis mountain. I just kept thinking I was getting close to the top and see a lot of sky, and then that's not it. We gotta walk over to the other one. That's the way this one is. It's pretty. It's not terribly hard. It's a lot of elevation, a few thousand feet, I think, over a few miles, but those are just numbers. In terms of climbing, much of it is pretty civilized, and then there's a few slabs and things where certainly having poles comes in handy, and maybe using your hands to grab something else. But that's why I'm talking to you now, because we're on this nice little flat approach trail, let's call it. But yeah, once we start going up, I'm gonna transition from being full of rainwater to full sweat. But there are a couple of waterfalls along the way that should be looking pretty good today, I think. I don't think they'll dry up before I get there. I don't know how far we're gonna get. It's really hard to walk fast in wet clothes on wet trail. I'm just trying not to die. But I thought that was a mailbox. Yeah, as a backpacker, I've never done that eyebrow trail. I should probably come here and do this a day hike sometime. They say it's very pretty, but I'm not going up there with a full pack. Not my size pack. Well, I will show you waterfalls. I will show you views. I don't know if I can show you mountain chicken. I met a hiker named Mountain Chicken the other day. I thought it was great because that's what he calls them too. There's this beautiful mountain grouse. They look just like a big black chicken. Hey, I will see you up there somewhere. I told you it would be waterfall day. I can't remember if there's normally water there or not. I haven't hiked this trail in a while. Not since last year. I think a lot of these are dry most of the time. Maybe damp. Look, look. I gotta get back to work, but it was waterfall day, so it's, oh look, there's more water. I thought I should pull you off. I gotta stop doing this. Yeah, that's going pretty well. A lot of times it's just barely sliding along those rocks. That's falling. Yeah. We gotta go. We're just barely getting started. We haven't even gotten to the first fall summit yet. I think we're gonna probably end up at the pond. I don't think we're gonna even make it to the arm. I'm just gonna go at a nice slow pace. Try not to blow anything up. My legs are heavy because they're wet. It's really hard to climb something like this when you're wet. But it will probably rain again, so there's no point in getting dry. Well, I would have sweated out on this climb anyway. I see people coming. I'll put you away. Trying to figure out my water strategy. Usually I'd carry some water up this climb, but I have a feeling there may be flowing water all over the place today. Definitely don't need to carry anything extra. But running out of water is bad. They seem to be running off the mountain everywhere. I'm thinking some of those false summits may drop me down to water in between. Well, I'm gonna go back to climbing now, so I'll see you later. Normally I would say that's the end of waterfall day, but you see there may be bonus waterfalls everywhere today, I don't know. Now we gotta do the climbing part. There was a cloud that came through a minute ago. It wasn't raining. You could feel the humidity. We were in the cloud. It was steamy. You could see the steam. It's definitely going to have some showers this afternoon. I don't know. We're rapidly approaching afternoon. It may be already afternoon. I just know I have to take this climb really slow or bad things will happen. Some things can't be rushed. So I'm going to climb, because you know I can't talk while I'm climbing. And then I'll show you some false summits. We're starting to get to the point where I can sort of see the mountain we're aiming for back there. It's a long ways away yet. But there's this nice flat rock here that I sat down on, and I said, well, this is a pretty spot. Yeah. It's gonna get noisy now. I gotta go. Somewhere there is the top of that mountain. We'll have to go over another couple of lumps, including that big one you see there. Because it's a ridge trail. You've got to hit the lumps. Sorry. Yeah, there's weather around us, but it hasn't actually rained on us yet. It's tough because it's not very far, but you can't push it any faster than you can go, depending on what you're carrying, how old you are. That. I just know this terrain. I go slow. Yeah, speck was in the clouds. I didn't even bother to go over. There's no point. Oh my! Look at that. I don't know what shows up on the camera, but suddenly I'm seeing mountains over there. Oh, it's majestic. We have this sheer cliff face we have to get down now, so hopefully somebody recovers the video if I don't make it alive. There's our campsite down there by the pond. It looks so close and so far away. I know how vertical this cliff is, it's terrible. I'm scared. Alright, I'm gonna go. Well, we made it down some of it. I can't remember where the worst parts are, so I don't know if I've been through the worst or there's worse coming. That is not our pond. Our pond has to be someplace down here. It's nicer down here. It's just pretty clouds. It's not raining. It's very different than the other side of the mountain. It was raining. Well, I'm gonna be brave and try some more. Hey, quick, before the neighbors come back. Everybody's at dinner. Speck Pond, 10 sites. Very happy to be alive. Tomorrow we start off with another giant plunge. It's like 1,500 feet in a mile or something. It's really steep and terrible. So, yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. But for now, things have quieted down. There were some people tripping balls in the shelter. Apparently they ate something they shouldn't have. Didn't agree with it, that's for sure. But yeah, hopefully they mellow it out. I'll be okay. I'm up in the air about all sorts of things at this point, so we'll see. Everything's day to day. These boots are coming apart. And we're going through just some hellacious trail here, so I'm not really sure what to do about it. I keep trying to glue them together. But the whole thing just hasn't been going very well. So, I don't know. There's a certain temptation to just go home. We'll have to see what happens. I can't go home from here. I've got to go somewhere else first. You can't get there from here. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens next. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to say night-night. I pulled out a 20 to pay for the tent site, and for the life of me, I don't remember where I put it when I came back, and I couldn't find the guy. So I probably should find that. Yeah, this was day 34. What the hell are we doing out here? No, it was beautiful. Do you remember all those waterfalls? They were great. The clouds coming down. When I wasn't fearful for my life, which was for quite a long time coming off that mountain. birds whispering around were fast. But then you realize, well, I could die at any moment. It takes some of the beauty away from them. No, it was great. It was great. Alright, I gotta do something about these boots. I gotta find that $20 bill. I will see you tomorrow.